Hi, I'm not sure whether I mentioned this the last time I posted on YouTube. Um, I When I saw my last neurologist and he said I had ME, I went on the internet once again and I found a website um, based in another country, and I emailed them asking whether the diagnostic tests that they're using for ME were available in this country. And I also explained all my symptoms, and I immediately had an email back saying that from the particular doctor who runs this site, saying that he didn't think I had ME from the symptoms that I had described to him, and he said that he was going to be in the UK and that he would see me. Well, on Friday I saw this particular doctor, and he gave me a whole hour, which is quite incredible, really, as in this case in the UK, on the NHS, it's if you get 20 minutes, you're fortunate. But he gave me an hour. He wasn't able to examine me because of not being licensed to practice in this country. I would have to have been seen by him with my GP. So, but he took a long history and has asked lots of questions and has suggested that my movement disorder is dystonia, and has asked me to get all of my information from the hospital, the CDs of the MRI scans and all of the EEG information and blood tests and everything, and send them to him, and he's going to get them all re-examined in his country to see if things have been missed, because he thinks that they were looking for MS and didn't look as closely as perhaps they could have, and he seemed to be a bit surprised that the MRI didn't have contrast. They were just ordinary MRIs. So that all seemed very positive, and was really pleased to meet him. I've had I then this morning went to see my GP just to report back to him really what had been said, and also to ask whether I could get a particular test done on the NHS, which the doctor had, this consultant had asked me to get, and my doctor was not the most helpful, in the most helpful mood. He seemed to think that because I've gone outside the NHS, it's unlikely that I will be able to get this test done on the NHS, and seemed to think that it might be a problem because I'm seeing someone in another country rather than someone from this country. So it was really quite disappointing, and what made the consultation worse is I was asking him just a general question as to whether I should perhaps have seen another neurologist in this country who specialises in movement disorders, and at that he stood up, walked to the door, opened the door and said goodbye. And I don't think I've ever been treated so rudely by any medical profession in this country, and it left me feeling really deflated. I tried to explain to him the seriousness of my condition and the way that it's ruined much of my life. I wouldn't say completely, because I am still having a good quality of life in many ways, but so many parts of my life have been destroyed or put on hold, and yet this guy was really not interested. He didn't even have the decency to say, sorry, I haven't got time to discuss this. He just stood up, opened the door and said goodbye, and it's left me feeling really quite deflated and quite low. But on the positive side, I do have someone on my side who seems to know what they're talking about, and this particular person is an expert in the field of ME and also in the field of vaccination. One thing he did think was there was a possibility that the flu vaccination I had that seemed to precipitate this might have been the thing that caused it, and that in 2005 there was at least one company who had its factory closed down because there was a bacterial contamination. You can check it out on the internet. If you do a search for flu vaccination and contamination, you will find that this is the case. So it's possible that the flu jab that I had, although it's not certain, could have been a contaminated one. So some good things and some bad things. I'm not sure where I stand now in terms of the NHS, whether I've put myself outside of it. I'm really not so sure what to do about the practice that I attend, having been seen this doctor and now feel that perhaps he's not interested and thinks I'm just wasting his time. And I'm sure there are so many other people like me who have chronic illnesses that are affecting their lives terribly, and yet when they go to talk to doctors, mainly because, to be fair on the doctors, they haven't got time, or because they've done exhaustive tests and they seem to find nothing, they just think you're wasting your time. And it's hard, it really is hard. So really that's just why I made this video. It's me sounding off. I'm really quite fed up by the treatment that we have in this country. I love the NHS and I'm so grateful that we have it, but when it comes to things that are difficult, if you haven't got a doctor who will support you, then to be quite honest, you're stuck.